Welcome, Blue Believers, to another episode of the Stamford Sync, where we are syncing up with everything Chelsea FC. Today is the fourth and final part in the series of Keep, Loan or Sell, and we are going to be talking about the loanees. So, if you enjoy the content and want to see more, please do me the distinct honour of liking, sharing, subscribing, or just roast me in the comments, whatever gets you through your day. So, without further ado, let's move on to the final part, the loanees. Right, okay, the loanees. So this is where things start to get a little bit interesting. Some of these guys I completely forgot about, actually, to be honest. It's amazing that these guys are still on our books. And we will start off with Andre Santos. Andre Santos comes back and it's into our team. For me, that is just how it is. I think we need four solid centre midfielders, right? For the amount of games that we're going to be playing. Do you know what I mean? There's, you know, bearing in mind, obviously, if you include the Club World Cup in this, we've got the Club World Cup, we've got the Premier League, FA Cup, Carabao Cup, Champions League. Like that's five competitions starting from in like a few weeks' time or whatever. But five competitions, we need at least four first team central midfielders. And I don't think I know we've got the guy. I'm really really sorry, I forget his name. Is it on this list? No, it's not. We're getting the guy from Sporting because we bought Giovanni Quenda from Sporting and we got a 20-year-old central midfielder from there as well. Um, don't think he's at Andre Santos level. I think Andre Santos is going to come in and challenge people like Enzo Fernandez and Lavia. At the moment, Caicedo's locked in, right? Caicedo's going to play. As long as he's fit, Caicedo's going to play. I think Andre Santos captained the team for pretty much a whole season as well. So that's leadership experience. He scores goals, he runs, he's aggressive, and he can pass and link play together. He just seems like an absolute superstar, man. So 100%, Andre Santos comes in and fights with Enzo Fernandez and Romeo Lavia for the spot as Caicedo's partner. He is an absolute keep, and I can't wait to see him playing in a Chelsea shirt. Joao Felix, sell him. Sell him. I can't. It's so strange what happened with Joao Felix. We got him on loan twice. Obviously we had him with Graham Potter, I think it was, and obviously Frank Lampard finished the season out. Um, Pochettino didn't want him, so we didn't have him for the Pochettino season. And then when we get Enzo Maresca in, he comes back in again. I don't necessarily think that's because Enzo Maresca wanted him. I think that's much more likely that Blueco were like, oh yeah, we need to get this Conor Gallagher deal over the line to get him to Atletico Madrid. We need to buy a player off them to make it a bit more palatable and business, finance, yada yada. It is boring. I hate it. Let's just talk about football. But yeah, Joao Felix, I was really surprised that Joao Felix went on loan instead of Christopher Nkunku because the rumblings about Christopher Nkunku leaving have been going on for ages. Do you know what I mean? It's like, oh, he doesn't look happy. He's not blowing up his balloon. He's too good to be playing in the Conference League, yada, yada, yada. And I was like, yeah, okay, that makes sense. And then it gets to the window and we keep Nkunku and loan out Joao Felix. And I was just like, I did not see that coming. I absolutely did not see that coming. Oh, he's gone to AC Milan and he's not had a good time. He's had a bit of ribbing from the AC Milan fans as well. I feel really bad for him. It only feels like his stock is going down. I guess the ideal thing you want is to send him on a loan that works for him. 45 mil we got him for, which is a good price when you consider that he was bought for like 120 million euros initially when he was like 19. So 45 mil, not a bad price for Joao Felix. It really puts that 25 mil for Jadon Sancho into perspective, doesn't it? Yes, it does. But yeah, I think, I mean, the money guys don't like taking a hit on anything, do they? But I would just sell him at this point. I would say that he needs to be free. One of my favorite YouTubers, Football Therapy, he calls him football's orphan. And that's so brutal, man. That's so brutal. But it just does feel like that, doesn't it? It's like everyone thinks they want him and no one wants him. So where does he go? I don't know. America, maybe that'd be nice because he's clearly a cut above most of the MLS kind of standard players. It's kind of like when Carlos Vela went out there, isn't it? So maybe get him a move to into Miami or LA Galaxy or something and go and let him sun it up in America and just enjoy playing football and having a good time. But no, I don't think there doesn't seem to be any teams. I mean, maybe Man United to buy him. They like that inside sort of forward kind of character, don't they? Maybe we could get 50 mil from United because they'd just about buy anyone at the moment, wouldn't they? But yeah, I think sell him. I think they'll probably try and loan him because they'll want to make sure they can get their money back for him. But personally, I would just sell him. Axel Disasi. So it was all exciting, wasn't it? We were going to have the Monaco boys, Badiashile and Disasi, back together again, and it just didn't work out. I like Disasi. I like his passion. I hate he's like he reminds me a bit of David Luiz. Do you know what I mean? Nowhere near as technically good as David Luiz, but in that moment where it's like he can be good and you like him, right? You want him to do well, but he scores own goals and gives away silly free kicks and makes stupid mistakes and just pulls your defense to pieces by himself. And it's like, no, I think selling him to, loaning him to Aston Villa was a good shout. He seems to have done okay there. I think I've seen conflicting reports of they want him, they don't want him, they want him, they don't want him. Either way, I think we'll sell him. It is crazy to me that we bought Axel Disasi for 45 mil, and for some reason Trevor Chalobah couldn't get in the team, and that looks like even more of a ridiculous decision now when you consider that Trevor Chalobah came back halfway through a loan at Crystal Palace and bailed us out for the rest of the season. Disasi gets sold. I think we'll probably take. I don't think anyone's going to pay 45 mil for Disasi, are they? Let's be honest. Maybe another loan. I don't know, but personally, sell him. I think sell him, get him out. Right, really interesting one next. Jordi Petrovic. I can't believe we loaned him to Strasbourg in the first place and bought Jorgensen. I mean, what is going on at our club, man? Like these conversations, I'd love to be a fly on the wall in some of these conversations. Okay, cool. So we bought Sanchez. He didn't do very well. So we've brought this other guy in, Petrovic, for the rest of the season, and he's played really well and he looks like a great keeper. Okay, cool. To the end of the season. So Petrovic is probably going to be first choice, and then we'll maybe keep Rob Sanchez as a second choice or sell him and promote someone else. No, 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 no. We'll loan Petrovic to Strasbourg and we'll keep Sanchez. Sanchez was awful. No, it's fine. We'll keep Sanchez. I don't know, man. I mean, the truth of the fact is, from Petrovic's perspective, at least he's had a great season. He's had a really, really good season on loan at Strasbourg, and that he seems to have vastly improved his foot game because obviously that's the thing, isn't it? We want a keeper that can play with his feet. Like, oh god, I hear that all the time. But yeah, we want a keeper that can play with his feet, and he seems to be better at doing that now. Maybe that's why Maresca wasn't a fan at the start. Or maybe was it Maresca? Who knows? There seems to be talk, rumblings, whatever. The guy that brought in Sanchez, the goalkeeper guy that brought in Sanchez, was really like, "This is the guy. You have to give this guy another chance." So I think that was probably the reason. But ultimately, with Sanchez is almost definitely getting sold, and he like I'd be really surprised if he didn't. And we're obviously, we've got a few other keepers knocking around like Petrovic and Mike Penders, who is also a very interesting prospect. Um, I personally think bring Petrovic back and put him in next season. I think give him the chance at least to compete with a Jorgensen or a Sanchez if one of those two gets sold or whatever. I haven't felt as comfortable with our goalkeeper as I have since Petrovic was at the back because he looked confident and he looked like he's ready to take on the responsibility and the role. So yeah, man, bring him back. Absolutely, bring him back. Keep him. Do you know what I mean? Jordi Petrovic, keep him and get him in between the sticks because if I have to watch Sanchez scare me again, I can't do it for another season, man. I can't do it. My heart cannot take it. Renato Vega, another. I mean, we just get the weirdest stories, man. It's the one of the things since Blueco, the American owners will come in, haven't they? They are really just tearing up the book about how you do things. Renato Vega, we got him for really cheap from Basel, I think it was 9 mil. And he was looking great as that deputizing midfielder left back kind of guy, and we didn't have another left back. This is really important, right? Because Ben Chilwell has gone out on loan. We've only got Mark Correa. Caleb Wiley, I'm not sure what's happening with him, but he's not around the first team. And then we've only got Renato Vega. That's it. And then he plays quite a lot in the Conference League, and he looks good. And then we get to the winter window, and it's like, oh, okay, we're gonna loan him to Juventus. It's like, okay, what? On. Supposedly, it's because he wanted to play a centre back, right? Because he's getting into Portugal's first team as a centre back. So yeah, so we loaned him out, and we left ourselves with one left back. in Marc Cucurella for the rest of the season. Fortunately, he seems fit as a fiddle because that could have gone really badly. I guess it's to sell him, right? Because I don't think he's going to get in as a centre back over Levi Colwill and play as much as he wants to. He obviously wants to be in someone's first team, so he can improve his chances of playing for Portugal. He's not interested in playing left back or inverting centre midfield left back kind of role. So yeah, I guess it's just sell him and make a bag on him, right? Because he's done all right. I think, we bought him for 9 mil. We could sell him for 25, 30, and you make a tidy little profit with essentially a 1 year turnover of a player that barely played for you. So I think as far as the books go, yeah, I guess sell Renato. But the weird one, I would like to if he'd have been I'm sure if he'd have been happy to play that left back inverted role, we'd probably just have kept hold of him. Do you know what I mean? But if he's really obviously wanting to play as a centre back and we're not looking to do that with him, then make some money out of him, sell him. Okay, Leslie Ugochukwu. Really like Leslie Ugochukwu. I just don't think that. I mean, I know I was saying before, like, we need full first class, first team midfielders or whatever. But I think sell him. I think I think we'd get 15, 20 mil for him. Bearing in mind, I don't actually can't remember how much we paid for him. Um, but yeah, he's not going to get into the first team, is he? Unless we have a load of injuries. And do you keep him around just in case you get a load of injuries? Caicedo was fit for the whole season. Andre Santos coming in. Do you know what I mean? We've got the guy coming in from Sporting as well, and I don't think there's room for Leslie Ugochukwu, which is a shame because he's a good player. He tried his best at a very, very, very struggling Southampton team. Um, but yeah, no, sell him. It's a shame because maybe there is something there. He's 21, 22, something like that. But yeah, he's just, he's not the answer to any questions that we have, unfortunately. So I think he gets sold. Ben Chilwell, just sell him, didn't you? You just sell him. It's his specific position does not exist in our team. He's not going to play left wing. He's not a midfielder. He can't do the inverted thing. He's not really defensively enough minded to play that Cucurella role. Cucurella is absolutely unbelievable, so there's no chance he's getting in over him. He's at the wrong end of 20. That sounds really harsh, doesn't it? But he's nearly 30. Um, no, I think just sell him and thank him for his amazing service in the Champions League and kind of let him go. Do you know what I mean? I haven't really been keeping up with how he's done at Crystal Palace on loan. I assume he's been playing, but I don't know. But yeah, man, yeah, Ben Chilwell, great player, but he's one of the remnants of the old guard, isn't he? And we just kind of need to kind of cut all those guys loose, really, because he's on a big wage as well. So I guess we'll see what happens, but I would sell Ben Chilwell. Carney Chukwemeka is a sell. Not really too much to say about this guy. He scored that amazing goal against West Ham, didn't he? That the lovely curler into the right corner. But again, it's a system thing. I don't think he's not good enough to even remotely challenge Cole Palmer or even really deputise for him as he is right now. He's not the right kind of player for that Enzo Fernandez-y kind of position because he's not deep minded enough to come back and kind of be strong in the defensive work as and when we need him to be. Um, Great potential, looked like a really interesting player. Feels a bit like a Ruben Loftus Cheek, although I'm a lot less attached to him than I was to Ruben Loftus Cheek. I think we could sell him, make a few quid, and just move him on. Okay, this is a guy I forgot was still with us. Armando Broja, right? Broja was looked okay. Broja looked okay for a little while, and then was one of the many guys that got a big injury. And when he came back, he just kind of didn't really look like he was the same kind of player. And he got his injury when he was pretty young. I think he was only like 19 when he got that injury, or maybe 20. So, but it feels like he was pretty young when he got that kind of serious injury, and it looked like he never came back from it. He's had loan spells at Fulham. Now he's at Everton. I think Everton are interested in him. I hope they look at buying him. I don't think we'll make a lot of money for him. I remember at one point someone came in for him. We were like, we want 40 mil, and it's like he's done nothing. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, nah, man, that's not happening. But yeah, he's not the profile of striker that we're looking for. He's not proven that he can do enough anywhere. The other loans he's kind of been at and in a Chelsea shirt. So yeah, Armando Broja, thanks for everything, man. But I think it's time to get sold. Another guy this is unbelievable that this guy's still on our books. Kepa Arrizabalaga. Mate, Kepa, man, Kepa. His name was literally Keeper. His name was literally Keeper. I couldn't believe it. I was like, yes, yes, this guy's gonna be. We spent 70 mil on this guy. Surely there's something there that we all just don't know about. Um, nah, man, Kepa. Hopefully we can. Is he at the? Is this the end of his contract? Does he just go on a free? I'm not even sure, to be honest. It's a sell, isn't it? It's a sell. Kepa needs to go. He's needed to go for a really long time, but I think because of the wages and how much we paid for him, we kind of did this to ourselves. Do you know what I mean? We 100% did this to ourselves. No, I take that back. Courtois did this to us. Oh, that guy, I loved him. I loved him. He was fantastic. And it was like, oh, it's okay that Czech's gone because Courtois come in and he's going to be our keeper for the next decade. And then he was like, no, mate, I'm off to Real Madrid. And then that made us go, okay, so we're going to have to buy another keeper. And it was Athletic Bilbao, wasn't it? I think we paid 70 mil to Athletic Bilbao for Pepper, and he was a 7 year deal, which was a long deal for those times as well. 6, 7 years ago. Like I say, I think I can't even remember if he's going now. If he's not just going to leave on a free, then he gets sold. Hopefully, he's done okay, like in other places that he's gone to. And he's still a reasonable keeper. He plays a bit with his feet. Do you know what I mean? So if there's like a lower team that wants to play that kind of football that needs someone, then please come and buy Kepa off of us and let's let the nightmare end. Raheem Sterling. Quick one. I'm gonna sell. I would sell. Can we sell? Because he's on 300 grand a week. I think Arsenal only paid 100 grand a week of his wages, right? Like when we loaned him out, it's like, can we afford to loan him out again and pay 200 grand a week of his wages? Will he take a wage cut, go anywhere, or I don't know. What an absolute mess, man! What an absolute mess. It seemed like we bought Raheem Sterling at a good time because he was 27, 28 when we bought him, and he looked like he still had some miles left in the tank. But man, he was just not up for it, was he? He was not interested. Um, Scored a couple of good goals. Been a been a professional. Do you know what I mean? I ain't got any kind of personal issues with him. I think. I mean, he just hasn't really played for Arsenal this year, has he? That's really unfortunate. And they finished second, so that kind of says a lot, doesn't it? Is with us, he finished 12th and sixth, and getting into a team that has finished second, he can't even really get into it. So it's like the levels maybe just aren't really there anymore. Maybe he strikes me as the kind of guy that would America, do you know what I mean? MLS, maybe get him over to the MLS. My personal decision would be, yeah, okay, let's sell him. But can we sell him? Are we just stuck with him to the end of his contract because he is on a hoofing wage? We'll probably end up loaning him out. Similar deal to what he was with Arsenal. We'll pay a load of his wages. By the way, let me get this out there. I don't um, resent any player that is put on a ridiculous wage by their club that won't leave, because that is, man. People are people at the end of the day. I know it's easy to think like, oh yeah, 100 grand a week is still a lot, and it's like, yeah, it is, but 300 grand a week is outrageous generational money. You can set your family up with that for over the course of a contract. Do you know what I mean? So I don't resent any player that gets put on a. It's the club's fault. It's 100% the club's fault. That's why one of the reasons I like our guys now, the Blue Co guys, because they are trying to make sure that that kind of thing doesn't happen again. It's all about incentives, and you can work your way up to this wage if you perform. But when you're Raheem Sterling and you get put on 300k a week, and your club doesn't want you, and no one else wants you, then you're just going to sit and chill, aren't you? It's what you're going to take that money and you're going to give it to your family, and you're going to make sure that they all have absolutely wonderful lives forever. So yeah, Raheem Sterling gets sold, and if it's me, if we can't sell him, I don't resent him. I resent the fact that we paid him that much money in the first place, and that's not his fault. That's the club's fault. Okay, David Washington. David, I think it's DEI, so I'm going to say that's David Washington. Loan. If we can get him out on a loan somewhere, he's 19, 20 years old, hasn't really done anything in a Chelsea shirt, and he hasn't been hovering around the first team at all, even with our absolute desperate need for a striker, to the point that we've named Tyreek George there. If Tyreek George feels like a more solid option as a striker than David Washington, then David Washington needs to go out on loan. That's a simple one. Caleb Wiley, here he is. So he's 20, he's out on loan. I say bring him back. Um, Keep him because we need another left back, and I don't really think we've got other holes in the squad because Cucurella is so good, right? Because Cucurella is so good, I don't think going out and spending money on a left back is a smart decision at the moment. We don't need someone to compete with Cucurella. Cucurella is the guy. Do you know what I mean? He's just the guy. He's good enough, absolutely. As long as we can, hopefully, like Caicedo, he plays 38 games this year or whatever. But yeah, I would say keep Caleb Wiley, bring him back from loan, give him a shot. Um, just for those the Carabao Cup games and maybe some of the Championship, the promoted teams and some of the some League Cup matches, something like that, just to give Cucurella a bit of a break, but also still be able to have a left back option and not like force someone else in there that doesn't need or want to be in there. So yeah, bring Caleb Wiley back and let him deputise for Cucurella. Okay, and last on my list is Alfie Gilchrist. So if I've missed anyone, please let me know in the comments. As I said, roast me, bring it on, make my day and yours. If you have a good time roasting people, please feel free. But yeah, Alfie Gilchrist, man, I think it's a sell. I absolutely like. If you're a Chelsea fan and you're watching this, then you'll 100% remember what it was like when he came in and he scored that goal. And the look on his little face, man, because he's a Chelsea fan through and through. He comes from a family of Chelsea fans. That was one of the most wholesome moments in football ever. Do you know what I mean? Just Alfie Gilchrist coming off the bench and scoring a goal was just unreal. It was so good. The sad thing is, I just don't think he seems like a centre backy right back kind of guy. He's not good enough to, I would argue, even really deputise. He's not young enough to be like, I mean, he's 21 now, and it feels like he was 16. Do you know what I mean? But it's just because he's quite a young looking guy. But no, Alfie Gilchrist, as much as I love him, it feels the same. I feel the same about him as I do about Ruben Loftus-Cheek. I'd be happy to watch him go on and do well at another club and get where he needs to because he is still really young. But if you just look at, we're bringing in 18-year-olds like en masse at the moment. So 21 all of a sudden doesn't look so young anymore. So I think get him in a championship club or a prem team and let him try and carve out a name for himself. He's feisty and he's got character and energy and like I say, it was a great little story, but unfortunately, I just don't think he's good enough to come to our first team. So Alfie Gilchrist, you get sold, but I hope you have a great time wherever you go. Okay, and that's it. Like I said, if I've forgotten anyone, please let me know. I could, I quite happily respond in comments to say, oh, actually, I think we should do this with this guy. So, like I said before, please subscribe, like, share, do any of the algorithmy things because to help guys like me, all you've got to do is click a button. All you've got to do is click a button, and that tells the people that make all of these technologies that I'm a person that's worth watching. And if you do think that, then I would absolutely love to carry on making content for you. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day, and I will catch up with you guys very soon. Peace.